This is Eldritch Song with the Magic Online clan Seraphim, and I've got another cube drop for you. And let's take a look. Okay, so blue looks pretty good so far. Goblin Trenches for Boros, Weathered Wayfarer, Sarkin Vol, Stoneforge Mystic, Terminates, Boilerworks, Doomblade. Alright, so white looks reasonable with Stoneforge Mystic. I mean, there's no guarantee that we're going to find any good equipment, but it's certainly a possibility. Sarkin Vol seems like it could be good. It is green and red, which actually would be a reasonable pick here, considering that there isn't any green or red cards at the moment here that are really that relevant. The only problem by taking Sarkin Vol is by taking him first pick, we'd be sort of locking ourselves into playing an archetype. But then again, I haven't played green-red for a while, so I really wouldn't be that sad to be playing those color combinations. And as a first pick, I think a Planeswalker is pretty solid, and the guy actually can be built around fairly easily, or at least utilized fairly easily. So I think that's actually a worthwhile pick. I think Stoneforge Mystic would probably be my second pick here. But in the absence of amazing equipment so far, as a first pick, it's not really that stellar. So I'll go ahead and grab the Sarkin Vol here. Alright, so green and red, we've got a Raging Ravine, Burst Lightning, Brutalizer Exarch. We could go Jund and grab Damnation. We could go Naya and grab Austere Command. Or we could just stick with our colors and grab Raging Ravine or Brutalizer Exarch. I think Damnation's probably worth picking up and going into a third color. Raging Ravine is nice, but we should have no trouble finding mana fixtures, I would assume. And I think Jund actually can be a pretty powerful color combination, so we'll try that out. So we got Land Tax, which is a sweet card, Goblin Ruin Blaster, Deranged Hermit, Spike Weaver, Dismember, Jace, obviously. Let's see. Honestly, at this point, I think I'd rather have a Deranged Hermit over these other cards. City of Brass might be nice if it wheels. Goblin Ruin Blaster, I would take that. Dismember, I would take. Sucker, Tribe Elder, or Forkball, I would also take. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards I could take out of here. 6, actually, so actually not a bad pack if you wheel it. And here we get a Bloodbraid Elf. That's pretty sick. There's not really anything else in this pack that really stands out. Molten Steel Dragon, I think, would be fun if we could grab it, but who knows what's going to wheel with this pack. I think it's possible the Dragon could wheel. I'd also like the Vivid Marsh would be a useful pick here. Looks like Naya would have been a good color to go into at this point. But we've already got the animation, so we're going to try to work with that. Alright, so we can go a little bit more mid-range and pick up the Wall of Blossoms. Wild Mongrel I don't think is going to be that useful, but then again, we could go kind of Reanimate, sort of. Not sure how useful that'll be. I think it's possible that the Wild Mongrel can wheel. I'll go ahead and take, at this point, the Wall of Blossoms out of the pack. I know I'll be using that. So, Stormbind, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 2 of these cards are going to wheel. We could use both of those duels, but Troll Ascetic, I think, is probably worth grabbing over the Dual Lands and Stormbind. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the Troll. Looks like we're going to be more mid-range than anything so far. So grab the Troll and pass those, and if one of those duels wheels, I'll be pretty happy. Fauna Shaman. Fauna Shaman. There's also Shambling Remains, Molten Rain, Heretic, Uktabi Orangutan, and Verdant Catacombs. I think at this point, see, I like the Shaman, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Verdant Catacombs, I think. Hopefully wheel one of those duels and be set. Personally, if I'm going to grab a Survival Effect, I'd rather grab Survival as opposed to the Fauna Shaman. It's possible it could wheel. I'm not going to count on it. But we'll see what happens there. So far, I like the way this looks. We're mostly green. we've got a few sweet cards. Bloodbraid, Sarkenval, Damnation, Hermit, all very awesome. And see, that said, we immediately get past a Genesis. Interesting. Well, hopefully we'll get a Fauna Shaman or a Survival, because that would work amazing with Genesis. We'll have to see, though. But yeah, I'm glad to pick that up. Wasn't really too much other noteworthy card in that pack. Genesis is a fine card. Alright, so we get back our first pack, and we're going to be taking this Lava Claw Reaches, it looks like. Let's see, nothing else we can play. Island does not do much, neither does the Bowler Work, so yeah, Lava Claw it is. And we get back the Raging Ravine, Burst Lightning, Viridian Shaman. We're taking the Raging Ravine because that card is just amazing. It's too bad about the Shaman and the Burst Lightning. I wouldn't mind having both of those. Alright, so someone took the best cards out of there. Ruin Blaster or Spike Weaver. I think Ruin Blaster, there are going to be times in the deck where it's not going to be a good card. The times when it is going to be good. Yeah, I'd rather like have this card as a sideboard option. And Spike Weaver just seems like it's better though. Especially for a mid-range deck, so I think I'm going to have to take that, even though I would have liked to have had a Goblin Ruin Blaster somewhere in the deck. Alright, so none of these cards do anything for us, but we're going to go ahead and take a Vines of Vastwood because it is the one card we can play. And so we have a choice of a Keldon Marauders, Wild Mongrel, and Jackal Pup. I don't see either of these being that useful considering the build we have currently, so Keldon Marauders looks like a good one. And we get back the Stomping Ground, so that's good. Looks like somebody was playing, I think the other dual land was green and black, so clearly somebody else is playing those two colors. But Stomping Ground I'm pretty happy with, and Molten Rain's not a bad card. Right. This is an interesting pack, because we have Library of Alexandria, which seems to me like one of those cards you just cannot pass no matter what you're playing. We're not exactly playing a control deck, but if we have a library, it seems like it'd be a pretty good card to keep around. Then again, I love Siege Gang Commander, and there's a lot of other sweet cards in this pack that I would like to have, but I think Library is just one of those broken cards that you cannot pass. Alright, so we got a Mox Diamond. Zozu, Black Sun, Acidic Slime, Mox Diamond. I feel like here I'm going to go ahead and take the Mox Diamond just because it is an accelerant. And hopefully wheel the Zozu or the Acidic Slime, and I wouldn't mind getting back the Black Sun, but that's not really the card I'm looking for out of this pack. But Mox Diamond, I'd like to try to play with that card. And I think it could be pretty sweet. Alright, so lots of nice cards in here, but the card that's standing out to me is Drana Calastria Blood Chief. Clearly one of the best cards in the best finishers in the cube. I would like, a lot of these red cards would be nice to have. Curd Ape would work, Berserker would work, but those are more for aggro type builds anyway. Drana I think is probably more our speed. Shriekmaw and Edict would be nice to wheel, but we'll see how that goes. Alright, well this is a sweet pack. Alright, so there are basically 4 cards that are really standing out to me. Dark Confidant, Hero of Oxy Ridge, Pernicious Steed, Broodmage Dragon. I think there's a distinct possibility that we can wheel the Broodmage Dragon, so I think I can rule that out for this pick. Dark Confidant I think is probably too expensive for this deck. Our curve's not that high. I think the highest we have so far is 5. But still, I don't really want to be losing life to that card. So I can probably rule that one out also. So really between Oxy Ridge and Pernicious Steed, and I don't think it's really a contest between the two. I think the Deed is just a million times better. So hopefully we can wheel the Broodmage Dragon, which seems likely. Other than that, I would like the Hero of Oxy Ridge, but we'll have to see how that goes. Okay, so we've got a Harrow, which probably is the pick. Llanowar Wastes Vortex and Avalanche Riders are all very good picks here. But Harrow, I think, is probably the best one. If I had to wheel one of these cards, I'd like to wheel the Avalanche Riders, but I'd also take the Waste, the Vortex, yeah, even the Root Wallet, I suppose. Alright, so it looks like we're going to go for removal here. So we have the option of Putrefy or Profane Command. They're both probably equally difficult to cast. Profane Command prefers that you have more mana. And we probably have enough ways, I would say, to fix our mana here, I would assume. So we can lose life, return a creature, kill a creature. I think Putrefy is probably more efficient, and I like to have efficiency over the options there. I'm not 100% on that pick, but I think Putrefy is probably just better because it's easier to cast overall. It takes less mana to do more of an effect, plus it kills artifacts. Well, I'm surprised to see a Mirari's Wake. Huh. You know, I'm kind of tempted just to splash for white now. Let's see. The only other option out of this pack would be like Woodfall Primus, and I think I'll just play the Wake over that. And I have Vedalken Shackles. Interesting. Well, Blood Crypt, Wildfire. Blood Crypt, Wildfire. Those are the cards I'm looking at currently. Let's see. Wildfire is nice, but we don't really have that many ways to ramp into mana currently. Blood Crypt would just be a safer pick overall. That said, we could find more ramp in further along in the packs. I'm going to go ahead and get Wildfire. I think probably mana fixing is something we can work on further along, and hopefully we'll find more ramp, which will make Wildfire pretty sweet. So for instance, we could play Life from the Loam. Turn up the 3 land cards from your graveyard to your hand. So far we have Harrow, we have Mox Diamond, we have 1 fetch. I don't know if that's necessarily enough to do Life from the Loam. We'll be passing on 2 pretty sweet, well, 2 decent burn spells here, but I'm going to go ahead and try the Life from the Loam and see if that works. Blastoderm would also be quite a good pick, but I guess at this point I'm being more experimental than anything. I would like Life from the Loam to work, and that would also be pretty sweet with Wildfire. So there's that. So maybe we can make this weird deck work. And if we end up playing Mirari's Wake, which I would actually like us to be able to do, it'd be pretty awesome if we could get that to work. We could be pretty controlling when it comes to mana bases. Alright, so here we can grab a Zozu the Punisher, or we could grab a Vivid Meadow. So there are a couple of benefits of grabbing the Meadow. If you grab the Meadow, it'll be a white source to play the Mirari's Wake, but it could also be a red, black, or green source if we needed it to. Grabbing the Zozo seems a bit worse if we're going to be trying to ramp into mana. Then again, after a Wildfire, you play the Zozu and they can't play any more mana without taking more damage. Might be fun. Then again, it could also backfire if we played it at the wrong time. I'm willing to try the Meadow for the sake of being able to play the Mirari's Wake. So I've got a Curd Ape, Berserker, Firebolt. Firebolt's not really the kind of removal I'm interested in. It's not bad, though. Let's see. Monk Fanatic, not really. Bloodthirst is nice. It'd just essentially be a 3/3 for 2 that can be blocked. Except by 2 creatures. Or we could play a 1-drop Curd Ape. I'm going to go ahead and play the Curd Ape. I think that'd be more consistently the right power level for us. Here we got the Broodmate Dragon back, and I'm pretty happy to grab that. Alright, and Avalanche Riders. So between Avalanche Riders and Sulfuric Vortex, I think we're too control-ish at the moment to really take advantage of the Vortex. I think I'd rather just have an Avalanche Riders to be more controlling on the mana base. And I like Blood Knight, but might as well grab the Savage Lands for mana fixing. And let's pick that Zuran Orb, sure. Okay. So we've got a Taiga, we've got Kodama, we've got Starstorm, we've got Bituminous Blast, we've got Vess, Scrubland. Actually, a lot of cards in here we could use. Let's see. I think we have a lot of board wiping, actually. We've got Damnation, we've got Wildfire. But I think Starstorm's probably worth picking up at this point. I would like to wield Taiga or possibly the Bituminous Blast, or even the Kodama, but I think Starstorm's probably worth grabbing. Alright, so Solemn Simulacrum. It's good to know they have M12 online. I guess I should have figured that out when they showed the Stormblood Berserker. So the Solemn Simulacrum is also Spiritmonger, Incinerate, Volcanic Hammer. I think Spiritmonger is the better card here. I would like the Simulacrum, but I think that I'll just hope to wheel for either Incinerate or Volcanic Hammer. Both of them are decent. Incinerate's better, but could go either way. But Spiritmonger is just an awesome card. Okay. Ancient Tomb. I like the Ancient Tomb. Huh. Ancient Tomb would help us accelerate into some of our higher drops. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab that and hope to wheel maybe the Foothills. Seems like a good card to hope to wheel into. So, Giant Solifuge. Bit more aggressive than I'm looking for. Only other option, though, is Vivid Crag, or Worn Powerstone, possibly. I think I'll take my chances with the Vivid Crag. I don't want to have too much mana that comes in tapped, so we do want to maintain our tempo, but I think that's worth grabbing. It'll help splash the Wake if we're going to play that, and it'll act as mana fixing as well. Alright, this is what I'm talking about. Survival of the Fittest. There are a lot of sweet cards in this pack. There's Survival, Maelstrom Pulse, Bloodstained Mire. Even still Moon Cavalier. Here I'm going to grab Survival. I think it's just broken, and it could be quite awesome. Especially if we can get that working with Genesis. I like the way that looks. Alright, take a look at all these. Stirring Wildwood would help us fix our mana. Reflecting Pool could do the same, though it'd only work if we had already a white source out. I think I'm willing to slow down the deck a little bit in order to fix the mana. And again, I'm not sure how much that mana fixing will be relevant. We do have Harrow and a few other things to help fix. No, I think I'd rather have a Reflecting Pool, actually, thinking about it. Probably Titan, though, could be reasonable. No, Copy Titan's not reasonable. Not right now. I was thinking about it because it could, it'd lower the curve. It could act as a 2-drop plus as a 5-drop. Alright, Desolation Angel. I'm not white enough for that, I don't think. I'd rather have a Kodama's Reach. Again, Jimhide's Sliver would be better accelerant, better as an accelerant. It's also Badlands, but See, Kodama's Reach just seems like it'll be more useful. Wish I could see my curve. Would be nice. Lots of good cards in this pack. Lots of directions to go. Guess I'll grab the Reach. And that's it. We immediately get past a Yavimaya Elder, which is the pick. If I had known that was coming, I would have gone the Badlands here, but oh well. Alright, well, I personally cannot believe that a Simic Sky Swallower is still in the pack. We've got a Taiga Bone Shredder. Let's look at our removal. We've got Damnation. We've got, let's see, Drana, Pernicious Deed, Putrefy, Wildfire, Starstorm. I'm not sure what I would rather have, consistency of my mana base or the ability to kill creatures. Probably the ability to kill creatures. I think I have enough mana fixing at this point. And speaking of that, I think I'll rather have a Volcanic Hammer than a Color of the Claw. Color of the Claw could be reasonable, though, with like all of our removal. Then again, that'd be pretty mana intensive to cast that, cast like a Damnation and then play Color of the Claw. And again, I think I'd rather try that guy out, honestly, because I've tried to play him in other decks and just hasn't worked out. And I feel like he wouldn't be in the cube unless he was a reasonable card. So maybe I just haven't played him in the right context yet. So this will be a deck of firsts. Alright, well, let's grab Wooded Foothills. That works good to fix our mana. Also works well with Life from the Loam. Let us grab... I'd rather have a Duress just in case we play a controlling matchup. Grab a Bloodstained Mire here. Lots of fetch lands apparently in Jund. That's nice. I actually like the way those last few picks went. Some pretty sweet cards. And we'll see whether we can make this deck work. So here are the two cards we were thinking about picking up earlier. There's the Wildwood for maybe helping mana fix with the Mirar's Wake, but I'm not sure that'll actually be an issue anymore considering all the other fixing we have, so I'm going to grab the Kavu Titan. And the Gemhide Sliver will help too. Yeah. That was a pretty good few last picks, so that's the draft. I'll be taking it into Magic Online, doing some deck building, and then we'll play some matches, so keep watching. I'll see you there. Okay, let's deck build. Oh, this looks beautiful. Alright, so let's get Damnation. Let's get our 3 basically black cards out of there. Broodmate. Gonna play all of our multicolor cards here. Let's look at converted mana cost. Actually, that's not a bad converted mana cost. Alright, so let's try Wildfire, Starstorm, Avalanche Riders, the Marauder, Hermit, Genesis, Elder, Troll, Reach Harrow, Color of the Claw, Life from the Loam, Wall of Blossoms, Survival, Sliver, possibly Titan, Mox Diamond. Alright, that's 27 cards. Not as bad as I thought it would be. Spike Weaver is playable, but I think I'd rather just keep it in the sideboard. Look at all those non-basics. That's pretty insane. Right, okay, so let's take a look at what we can possibly cut here. Avalanche Riders might just not be the right kind of card here. I like the rest of these. Let's see. Wall of Blossoms could go. Kill the Marauders, I think, can probably go. And so can Kavu Titan. I'm not too impressed by that. 24 cards is not too bad. I think the rest of these I'd actually like to try playing. Mirari's Wake as the only white card in here. I don't mind playing 41 cards to keep the Mirari's Wake in. So we got an Ancient Tomb, Reflecting Pool, Savage Lands, Bloodstained Mire, Reaches. Wow, okay, so we've got a lot of land. So you got room for 4 basically non-basic land, or 4 basic lands is the room we have here. So let's go ahead and go by color. So we're clear that really green's our main color, but we have a lot of splash, a lot of multicolor cards in this deck. So put library over here, that's our non-colored one. We got a red source, a white source, got a green-black source, a red-green source, another red-green source, red-green, black-red, so 2 black-reds, that over there, anything, and an Ancient Tomb, which can go over here. Okay. Let's put that there. Right. Alright, well, let's pull out, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green sources. I would like to have probably 10 of those, so it looks like we're probably going to be putting in, out of our basic lands, probably like at least 2 green sources here. Okay. Let's find our forests. Let's put in 2 of those. In terms of red sources, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's more than enough. In terms of black, we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 black sources. That's probably enough. The downside is that we don't actually have a black dual land. So I would like to have at least 1 swamp in there to make our Verdant Catacombs and Bloodstained Mire more effective. And let's see. Might put... Don't think we need 2. We don't have... I don't know, we might need 2. That'll give us... Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 black, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 green. And probably just put in 1 plains to be fetched with our mana fixers here. Alright, so that's the mana base. And I think that's actually pretty good. We've got a lot of mana fixing. Shouldn't be an issue. Lots of non-basics. The deck's going to be a little bit slow because of the come into play tapped effects. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. Splashing for the 1 white card. The rest of them are mostly green, but with lots of multicolor. And only solid black ones are these 3, Damnation, Bone Shredder, Colostria, all definitely worth playing. Overall, I like the way this deck is shaping up, or has shaped up, I should say. It looks pretty sweet. The curve actually is not bad. We are a little bit heavy on 5 drops, but I think that's generally where the deck... I think this is definitely a very mid-range deck. It's not aggro, it's not control, it's mid-range, and that's something I've not drafted in a while. Typically I go to control or I go to aggro, so it's nice to be able to fall into sort of a mid-range strategy this time around. We'll see how it goes. I do have a good feeling about this deck, but we'll see how that works. So I'll be playing some matches soon, so keep watching, and I will see you in round 1.